What do you think? Do you like that word?
No.
Okay. Why?
Because I don't like to be called black.
Okay. Okay. Well, why? Tell me why.
Because I'm not black.
Okay.
Brown skin, you know I love your brown skin. I can't tell where yours begins. I can't tell where mine is. Brown skin, up against my brown.
I saw the documentary Dark Girls for the first time about a year ago now. And for those of you who are not familiar with this documentary, it is basically talking about and discussing, shedding light on the perceptions of dark-skinned women, whether it is a self-perception of a dark-skinned woman of herself or the perception of others of dark-skinned women. And, you know, as we know, this has been an issue in our own community, in the African, now American community, where you have light skin versus dark skin. It's gone all the way back to slavery, where you had the light skinned slaves in the house and the dark skinned slaves in the field. And I'm sure there were some, animosities there among them, but it first created that separation. I've seen it among friends, among other women, and I've even seen it among within my family. So this situation or this issue, it's not anything new. What I was surprised though in the documentary was the age in which the self-hate began. And so when I started working with the girls at D.H. Stanton Elementary School, and when it was my turn to conduct one of the workshops, then I knew that was the first thing that came to my mind, was that I wanted to address the self-hate at such a very early age. And to my surprise, maybe not to my surprise, it was there. It was definitely there among these girls.
My mother, she got pregnant, married at 15. She was a woman who was beautiful, smart, all those, never tapped into her ability. And that was my first example of black womanhood. Grew up in a predominantly white community, so constantly being called nigger, black, ugly nigger, those words together. Never seeing any examples on television or in film of anyone associated with beauty or softness or kindness or femininity that looked like me. And then going to the welfare camp. That's where I went to, the camp for, low-income kids. That's where you saw all the black kids. And then they were doing the same thing to me. Black, ugly, nigger. And so at that point, where do you get it from? Where do you pull it from?
I think that these, conceptions about, color come from within our race. I feel like certain people who may have lighter skin try to boost their self-esteem and to boost their, their self-worth up by putting others down because they know that darker skin, I guess, isn't considered beautiful, and so that kind of puts them up on that pedestal, like saying, hey, I'm more beautiful than you because my skin is fair.
A friend of mine had recently had a baby, and I was very happy for her. And so, it was my first time seeing a baby, and the baby was beautiful. And she said, girl, I'm so glad she didn't come out dark. And when she said it, it felt like a dagger, like someone took a dagger and stuck it in my heart, because I was used to expecting hearing things like that from other races. But this was someone that I considered to be my sister.
Show me the smart child. And why is she the smart child?
Because she is white.
Okay. Show me the dumb child. And why is she the dumb child?
Because she black.
Well, show me the ugly child. And why is she the ugly child?
Because she black.
Show me the good-looking child. And why is she the good-looking child?
Because she light skinned.
We started the workshop off by showing the girls pictures of Sierra, Rihanna, and Beyonce. And their reactions were, "Ooh, she's so pretty. Yes, I love her." Then we showed them pictures of Viola Davis, Lupita, and Camille Winbush. And their reactions were, "Ugh, she ugly. Ugh, she black. Ugh, her hair nappy." The girls were then given a mock survey similar to the one that was shown in the documentary Dark Girls. The survey included questions such as, which little girl do you think is prettier? Which little girl do you think is ugly? Which little girl do you think is dumb? And which little girl do you think is smart? The answers included pictures of little girls ranging in color from white to very dark skin, and the girls were required to circle the picture that they felt best represented their answer. Afterward, we had a discussion asking them why they chose the picture that they chose. Some of them had the same answers as the little girl in the documentary. Others had absolutely no idea why they chose the picture that they chose. After we went through all of the activities with the girls and we showed the PowerPoint and the videos and we did the worksheets and we had discussions, ultimately what it came down to is that they had absolutely no idea why they had the perceptions that they did toward these dark-skinned women or girls. They had no idea. And of course, at such a young age, they didn't realize too that when you are making negative comments or when you have negative attitudes or negative perceptions toward dark-skinned women or girls, then you are also harboring those same perceptions and attitudes toward your own self. And for a minute they didn't get that, and it took us a few sessions to to kind of help them to understand this. But at the end of the month, they were coming around to understanding that, hey, my complexion is just like hers. So if I don't like her, then I don't like myself. If I think that she is unattractive and ugly, then I think that I am unattractive and ugly. And eventually they got it. And that was kind of like that was the best moment of it all, actually. When they had their aha moment. And even with the lighter skinned girls in the class, we had to tell them that, you're brown too, just another shade of brown. So when you don't like her brown, then you also saying too that you don't like your brown because it's all brown. And even they got that. And that was such a great moment because I feel like it did something to their self-esteem. It boosted their self-esteem. For the girls who have been picked on or talked about and made comments about, I felt like their self-esteem was raised even just a little bit. Because now it's okay. Miss Kedra and Miss Stevens and the rest of the mentors, they made it okay for me to be dark-skinned. And they appreciated that because they hugged us at the end. And those type of things, you know, you may not say, but they show it in their actions. And so that was the best moment. What I hope for the girls to be able to do in the future with this is to maintain this beginning level of self-esteem. We taught them a portion of self-esteem. And if I were to continue with a program like this of my own, then, you know, we would continue in the process of building up that self-esteem. But that was the groundwork for the mentors and the teachers at D.H. Stanton to start building on top of that self-esteem. And so that's what I hope for the future for this, is for there to be more to be built on top of that foundation of self-identity and appreciating who you are, what you are, for who you are and what you are, even at a young age, because that eventually carries over into their teenage years, into adulthood. So my hope for this project was to establish healthy self-esteem in these young ladies. I also hope that in the future, they're able to teach other girls and young ladies about self-esteem. And they're able to articulate, they're able to demonstrate what healthy esteem is based on the color of your skin. So, and I always told them during the workshops is when you know what you are, when you know that even as a dark-skinned young lady or even as a light-skinned young lady, that you are beautiful, and that beauty comes from within first. When you know what you are, then no one can tell you what you are not.